Hello, welcome back to DuckSport. Today we are finally getting around to starting taking the car back apart again. So having built up the car now, I know where everything lives, I know how everything goes on, but there is a load of stuff that needs to be done to the car following that work. Primarily cleaning stuff up, painting it, painting brackets, that sort of stuff. So today we're going to be starting off doing that type of work on the rear end. Guess you forgot to start the camera recording. Oh well, you get to watch me struggle to take the axle out now. Well, it's out, other than it trying to run off. It's all good. I've just started cleaning up the axle, but I realise I haven't actually shown you how manky it is, so just some close-ups, around here. And it's pretty manky, but this is where I started cleaning it off. You can see it's coming up alright. I mean, I've literally just started. So I've got the good camera over there recording this, so I'll cut to the time lapse now. Okay, so first quick pass over the back side of the axle. You can see it's coming up pretty nice. And it's still going to need going over again. And some areas down in there where I need to get a smaller wire wheel on it. But yeah, so far pretty happy with that. First coat of paint on the diff cover, and that's looking pretty good. Also got a coat of paint on the axle. Again, pretty happy with how that's coming out. Loads of sparkle. Should only need one more coat. Everything now has 2 coats of paint on it. Get the fin out of the way. The axle looking really nice. Lovely and sparkly. Bit of bling. Diff cover, and I've done the panhard rod as well. So they need 24 hours to fully harden before I can put them back in the car. So that's it for those for today. The next thing with that will be letting it dry and then permanently installing in the car. Before I put the axle back in though, I want to just give this area a quick coat of paint. It's all fine, it's just got a little bit of surface rust and stuff, so I'm going to give that a clean up and a bit of black paint. So, well, the power of YouTube. There we go, it is now painted black. Let's just cover that up make it look a little tidier. So let the all the paint dry and then axle back in. So a job I can do while I'm waiting for the paint to dry is actually change over the rear brakes. So I've got some new discs to go on, and I've got obviously my refurbished calipers to go on, which I think I've showed you already, but if you haven't, you'll see them shortly. So I'm just going to take the wheel off and see if I can get the disc off without destroying the drum handbrake setup. Okay, so I have had this off already, but I promise you it actually came off this easy the first time. In fact, it probably came off easier the first time because I had two hands to use. There we go. Scrap disc. Some reasonable looking handbrake shoes. So, just got to get the handbrake cable off the back of there. And actually, yeah, that's a good point. I might not be able to put the new discs on until I've got the new handbrake cable on, which means I need to wait for the paint to dry. Bugger. That's the wheels and brake discs off. So I can't put the calipers on obviously until the paint's dry, and I need to work out how to get the handbrake cable that I cut off actually out, because I am using that handbrake setup. So I need to do some googling, work out how to do that, and then I will be able to put the new handbrake cable on once it's dry, along with the new discs, and maybe I'll put the wheel spacers and the wheels that I'm going to be using on. Not refurbed yet, but it'd be nice to see what they look like. Okay, so I've done a quick bit of googling, and it does look like I'm going to have to dismantle the entire handbrake drum setup in order to change the cable. I hate messing around with drums on the best of days, let alone when it's scorching hot, so I'm not going to do that right now. Instead, I've got some other jobs that I need to do, which includes making the hard lines for the brakes. So for that I do need a T-piece, which I need a bracket for, so we'll start with that. This is the T-piece in question, and this is probably going to want to live somewhere like that. So actually, just thinking about it, I might not need a bracket. No, I will, because that bolt won't fit through that hole, so I do need to just make a little standoff bracket for that. So we'll knock something out now. So something I'm really good or bad at doing, depending on your point of view, is keeping hold of random little brackets and stuff like this that could come in handy, and in this case this one has come in handy. So that top section like that is perfect for making the bracket that I need. Ooh. Okay. If I cut it off there, drill out that bottom hole a bit, it's going to be even better. I'm going to do that. Just editing and realised I didn't show the finished bracket, so here it is, and you can see just drilled the hole out, painted it black, with a little bend in it to angle the T-piece where I wanted it. Taking a break is sometimes a very, very good thing. Went back to have another look at the drum brakes, and suddenly realised I can probably do this without taking the drums apart. Glad to say that's the adjuster that sits inside the handbrake. That is the cable that sits on there, and that is the little retaining pin that holds it in place. That one was an absolute pig. Still got it out the same way, but it was seized around there and around there, so just made it a lot more difficult. But WD-40 specialist fast release penetrant, stuff I recommend all the time, did the job nice and quick. So now I just need to remove that little stud, take the cable off, put the adjuster back in, and then fit the new cable with it all in. So as part of doing this refurb on the axle, I've also got brand new handbrake cables from Scandic. These are them, and I've just got to work out how to refit them. So it turns out there's a couple of extra bits I need to rescue off the old cable to fit the new one. This and that pin and R-clip is all needed to fit the new one, so I'm going to pull those off, and also that pin and that R-clip is needed to fit the new second cable. So all of those are going to come off, get cleaned up before being fitted. Managed to get the bracket off and the pins out. The R-clips in them were completely knackered and broke off inside, so I had to file them down to get the things out. I haven't got any R-clips the right size, and the split pins I've got and R-clips I've got, I need to drill those little tiny holes out, and my drill bits that are small enough won't touch it. So I think I'll be resorting to good old-fashioned M6 nut and bolt. Diff cover, little bracket for the T-piece and the T-piece, and the handbrake are all back on now. So time to put on the new discs and also the wheel spacers. Yes, I need wheel spacers. I was a bit excited once I got the disc and the spacer on, so I didn't actually take any footage of what that looked like. I'll show you on the other side in a minute, but this is what it wheel looks like on the axle. So I think that looks pretty awesome. Obviously, still need to put the caliper on, and the wheels need a refurb because, well, they're wrecked and I'm not having them black anyway. But yeah, I think that looks pretty damn good. So new disc and spacer on that side. Time to fit the other wheel. So for those that are interested, the wheels are Clio 197 wheels, just completely standard, other than the fact they've had that really dodgy black reverb at some point. The spacers are needed because those wheels are standard are ET68. Yes, 68. So they're 30mm spacers, and they also just adjust the centre bore to fit better. They're going on and going to have about the same poke as the Steely's had, the original Volvo wheels. So I couldn't resist now going inside and grabbing the brake calipers to put on, because it's just going to finish the whole thing off, and wow, they look good. And behind the wheel. So I am one M10 bolt short of actually putting them on properly, but I haven't put pads or anything in yet anyway, so I will do that when I do the pads. For now then, what I need to do is get that axle back under the car and refit it. Okay, it's getting late, I'm getting hungry, but just chuck the axle back under the car so I can pack away for the night, and it is now looking good. So tomorrow morning then, I think it'll be just a case of back out here, put the 4-link back on, put the panhard back on, put the shocks back on, and depending on how much trouble I'm going to get in for doing all of that, maybe run the hard lines for the brake calipers. But yeah, it's looking good. It's the next day and it is a hell of a lot cooler out here today, so going to be making for much nicer working on the car. Plan today then is just to get the axle properly mounted back into the car, but to do that I need everything in here. So in here I've got a lot of rose joint boots and also spacers, so I need to get those onto all the rose joints so everything is going to be properly protected as much as a rose joint ever can be, and just get everything sort of properly mounted on the car this time. The thing I might not have the right nut and bolt for is the panhard bar. The one that was on the chassis side was a temporary one and I'd forgotten that, so I need to have a measure up, check my stock. I might have to order something for that though, but that's fine, I've got to do a K-Fast order anyway. Okay, first one of these made up. Not sure which side is right, whether this side with it pushed in or this side with it sat in is correct, but they're an absolute pain to do, and I've got at least 3 more to do, if not more. So got those two done, no problem. Came out, went back in, all is good. These two seem to have something going up the threads a little bit, so can only get it in that far before it comes to a stop. Now the crap on the end of it is copper slip to stop it from seizing. Thinking there must be some crap actually in the thread. Now when I pulled out the other two, I did notice on the end of them there was some metal shavings, so up when the threads were originally tapped, and they just weren't got out by the people who made them for us. I'm presuming they might have been the same on this side, but because there's now copper slip in there, it's all stuck in the copper slip. So let's see what I can do. So I don't have any taps the right size to do a proper job of cleaning up the thread, so I thought I'd improvise. That is a tap the next size down, wrapped in blue cloth, that I've run up there, and you can see it's poured out a load of dirt, so hoping that's going to work. So after a lot of faffing, I've managed to get the other rose joints back in. Let this be a lesson to anybody buying parts from Rally Design. Make sure the threads are cleared before you put anything that's going to stick the crap in there. And there we go. Axle is back in the car on the 4-link and the panhard. So just need to get the shock absorbers mounted back up, and that will be a good job done. Of course I still need to do the brake lines and shit, but it's looking good. I've got the car back on the ground now, on the suspension, and obviously on the wheels with the spacers that I'm going to be using, so I couldn't resist chucking a arch on there with some tape to have a look what it looks like. Let me know what you think. I think that fits pretty well. Can probably bring the rear end down a little bit. I mean, the height's not set for any reason at the moment other than just getting it rolling. Could have even gone a little touch wider on the wheels if I wanted, but I think that's going to work really nice. That is it for another week's video. As always, thank you for watching. If you like the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and the little notification bell next to it to make sure you get notifications on when the future videos come out. And don't forget, for behind the scenes stuff, to follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram.